Welcome, everybody. Just want to welcome everybody to Coach Les and Sujata Against All Odds, the live podcast. And there we are. She's there. It wouldn't let me add you, Sujata, because it said devices aren't connected yet. I cannot add you. I'm like, okay, fine. Sujata, give you a little introduction. As you can see, I've pinned her pickmybrain.world, where you can find out a little bit about Sujata up above myself and Sujata on Clubhouse. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Coach Les, and I am an integrity relationship coach. I am Zig Ziglar trained and certified as a speaker and a coach. And we are here today to discuss some of the fun topics that are in Sujata's book, and they're part of my commitment to life and what we're up to. And with that, I'll just tell you a little bit about, because I know Sujata won't tell you everything that I'm about to tell you, so I'm going to tell you everything I'm about to tell you. Sujata has accumulated a wealth of experience during her life, leading to insights and knowledge that cannot be coached or taught in a class. She is a mother, a wife, a journalist, a consultant, an activist, a leader, and a businesswoman, domestically and internationally. In sharing her story, Sujata strives to provide readers of all backgrounds in any part of the world with real-life examples on how to deal with the unpredictable nature of everyday life. And with that, we have been doing this podcast now for a couple of months, and we pick highly potential, volatile topics, and we lead them sometimes from differing points of view, which I think is rare. And we lead them from the place of love, gratitude, and respect, and accountability, knowing that our views may differ and that the people in the audience may have different views. And that is A-okay. In fact, that's what gives life to the conversation and gives a little bit more juju to the conversation. So with that, I'm just, Paitlin, I'm just going to do something here. I'm going to send you to the audience and invite you right back up. There you are. And that way, when I give you a little green bean, you won't pop in front of Sujata. There you go. Thank you, Paitlin.
Welcome.
And some of you may be going, well, why did he do that? Because poor Paitlin would have been in between me and Sujata, and everybody be looking at Paitlin going, well, is she part of the podcast? And here's the thing. Everybody's part of the podcast on the stage at Clubhouse. And Sujata and I are both on StreamYard. And you will hear Sujata speak, and she'll be speaking through my microphone. So you won't see Sujata's mic come off. And that's because we're speaking on Facebook, on her Facebook group site, mine, a couple of others, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And the idea is that we are building a brand here called the Against All Odds podcast. And it's her book and our idea and my life story as a coach and her life story written out as her life. And so we are here to touch on and tread into topics that most people don't like to talk about or be held accountable for. And today we are talking about gossip. Ooh. that fun thing that goes on, misinterpretation. And I'm going to hand the mic over to Sujata because she will share with us a little bit clearer, because we've talked about gossip a couple days in a row, and we were going to talk about it again on Friday night, and life happened and we weren't able to put the room on Friday night. So we're doing Friday nights right here, right now. And with that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Sujata.
Okay.
Hi, Sujata.
Internet is not. Hi. Today the internet is not in a very cooperative uh, mood. So I'm having a lot of challenges. It's quite choppy. But I would like to thank you for doing what you do consistently. And you are really, really amazing, Coachless. I just cease to wonder at how you are an, if that's the right word, an anomaly in the human landscape, uh, because there are not many like you.
An
So,
anomaly?
yes,
Is that what you
I'm,
meant? Okay.
yes. I think you know what I meant, right? That you are some out of the ordinary.
An
So,
anomaly, yeah.
and as far as gossip is concerned, and we have talked about it, it's not always, you know, the less harmful and not very serious gossip that I've dealt with. I've dealt with those also that you deal with almost on a daily basis. But I've dealt with the serious stuff. And the serious stuff is what I wanted to touch on Friday. It didn't happen. But I shall dive into it right now before we start off. So, when somebody commits a crime and it's a carefully premeditated crime, and they lead up to it by spreading gossip about the victim, that is not something which is to be taken you know lightly. So if you're going to rape somebody and you're going to do a character assassination of the victim, that is not to be taken lightly. Nor is it that when people like you and me, people who are supposedly educated in a 15,000 community of residents, let me tell you that this is what I faced while I'm fighting for justice in court for my daughter. And in a WhatsApp group of more than different WhatsApp group of 250 plus people, knowing that the victim or the victim's mother is definitely in the WhatsApp group, you suddenly one day say, "Oh, I believe that the guy may be let out of prison, and I heard that he's coming back to the complex with a job. Is that true?" That itself is that you're discussing a rumor or you're discussing something sensitive, and then you go all the way out to discuss the case. And the case is like, you're discussing, oh, they got a conviction based on the bite marks and stuff like that. Is that how you discuss somebody? And imagine I had to listen to it, then I had to take on the person separately, one on one, because my idea is not to create or lend to the drama by lashing out in the WhatsApp group and saying, "Why did you do this? How did you do this?" Instead, I just silently communicated with the person and said, "I didn't expect this from you." Anyway, so these are the things that I had to go through, and these are not small things because they stick with you all your life. So do what you do. I might have got you know justice by conviction, but I could never ever take out what was thrown to the media by the accused that he had done, and by the so-called uh, you know educated mass who spread the word that the victim was. And this is even hard for me 8 years down the line to say it, that, oh, the victim was inebriated. I'm quoting the exact words which was thrown in the media again and again. Does it mean that it's a right to get raped just because you were so called inebriated? It never went off. It was there in the a 99-page document all the way through. So, for me, it's a very sensitive thing when we talk about gossip, and it is with right reasons. And I don't think anybody can change my stance on this, that gossip can really harm somebody's life. What if I was not the mother that I was? Because I know that my daughter was very much affected, because in front of her, one of the persons actually asked her or told her that this is what the accused was saying about you. And I decided that day I will never ever take my daughter to anybody after that. Strictly, I kept her away from people. Anyway, I land my plane.
Well, as you can all hear, the passion in Sujata's voice. This is what happens every single day. And there are people, it starts as early as 3 and 4 and 5 years old. When your little kid steals a toy from another little kid, and the kid cries, and the parent, oh, you don't need to cry. Stop crying. Stop crying. It's just a toy. And no lesson is taught. And this is the first domino that falls, that it's okay to do things that impact other people and not be responsible for it. Now, a responsible parent goes over and says, look, this is this person's toy. If you'd like to take it and borrow it, why, just ask. And by the way, I've done this with 4-year-olds. So some of you are sitting there, yeah, I tried that with my 4-year-old. It didn't work. Well, I apologize that it didn't work for you. That means that you weren't talking in a way that had it work for the 4-year-old. And how do I know this? Because I see miracles with 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds every single day that I go to Taekwondo. And they're in the class right before my class. And I watch my sensei lead 4 and 5-year-olds around, crawling on the floor, rolling on the floor, learning to fight, putting on pads, learning how to kick bags, learning how to protect themselves, learning how to call out bullies, learning how to clean their room, eat their vegetables, not drink pop. And he gets them all excited about it. And he gets them to understand how to play fair and how to pay attention. Now, how can he do it and parents can't? So all of these things, so that's when it starts, ladies and gentlemen. It starts then. And then we wonder when they're 20, 25, 30, why they're messed up. Because we've allowed them to have all of this mess from the beginning. And so integrity doesn't even look like integrity. It's some word that begins with an I, has a bunch of letters, and ends with a Y. Therefore, to make a difference, we have to redesign how we raise our youth, how we hold people accountable for what they say, how they say it, when they say it, and who they say it to. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the media loves a story. Why? Because for some reason, drama, hurt, death, stealing, shooting outweighs the good deeds of a good Samaritan on the news. Somebody helps 5 people come and lift a car off of somebody at the side of the road, and it doesn't even make it to the news. I mean, the insanity of that. But that's the world we live in because we're all filled with drama. Oh, look, there's somebody worse off than me. What about if we started to have the conversation? Wow, look at the difference. Maybe someday I can make a difference like that. Maybe someday I can be paying attention to the world around me, to what comes out of my mouth, and be responsible for the impact. and suddenly realized that my words have power. Oh, by the way, there's a little book out there, the most notably sold book in the universe currently, in our known universe, called the Bible. And it talks about, and then there was the word. You think it might be important if it's in the first sentence of that book? Well, guess what? Grow up and be responsible for it. Now, you may say, well, Coach Les, it's hard. I didn't say it was easy. It's not supposed to be easy. And am I perfect at it? Not by a long shot. Am I striving towards being good at it? Yes. Is it something I do with vim and vigor? Of course it is, because it makes a difference. I even like being responsible for my poop, even when it's not my poop that offended the person. Why? Because it makes a difference when I'm talking to that person and they go, wow, I wish this person would do that for me. Well, it's like, well, are you doing it for other people? Well, no. Well, then if you're not going to get it from another person. If you want integrity, you want no gossip, then you better for sure be looking in the mirror and making sure that that mirror is clean. And if it's not, start now, not tomorrow, not in an hour or a couple hours. Start now. And what does that look like? I have no idea. Each of us have our own stories to restructure, to be responsible for. But as you can hear from Sujata and from her book, people like to turn the attention when it's negative away from themselves and make somebody else look bad, because hopefully then they won't see the poop that's on them. So they throw the poop onto somebody else. And because it sounds and looks worse than their own poop, somebody goes, oh, maybe it's true. And then they say it to another person without validating it, without looking to see if maybe it's an error. And then, oh, by the way, what about the person sitting at the table next to you who is all ears? And they go and go, guess what I heard today from the table next to me in the restaurant? Oh my gosh, they were talking about this person and this security guy. And oh my gosh, the woman was drunk. She must have been flirting with him. It's everybody always blames the man. Maybe it's the woman's fault. Oh my gosh, number of times I've heard that. It's like, buddy, if you took it out of your pants, you're wrong. Period. If you have a doubt, if the no is a doubtful no, then stop. Figure it out later. This, oh, well, she said no, but she meant yes. Ugh, make me puke. I've been in college. Lived in a fraternity. I've had women say no. And guess what? I honored their no. Why? Because why not? There's enough people that say yes. For the challenge? What's the challenge? They've been drinking. They barely even know what they're saying. You may as well go buy a blow-up doll. I mean, why? I just don't understand it. Or go find a goat or a dog. I mean, that's how you're treating that person. So stop being an animal. Start using what God gave us that is different than that amygdala, which, by the way, is the monkey part of your brain. I always laugh when I hear some of this stuff. I'm like, I've got a great remedy for you. Here, stick your hands through these bars, grab this banana, and hold on to it like a monkey would. And now I've got you trapped in jail. Because the monkey's not going to let go of that banana. Come hell or high water. As you can see, I'm a little passionate about this conversation.
That's how it should be.
So with that, I'm excited to share that we're going to take a listen to what some people think about gossip. And we're going to do a little walk through the audience here, hear what a few people have to say about it. On Clubhouse, by the way, if you've never been to, for those of you listening online, if you've never been to Clubhouse, it's a social media app that's a little bit like a radio podcast. People in the audience that aren't connected with anybody in the speaker lounge or the stage. Then there's people in the speaker lounge that are connected to the people on stage, one or two of them. And you get a chance to come up on the stage and share and talk. So we're here, we're live doing that. And this is an opportunity, I believe, for people to share their view. And I'm not expecting everybody to agree with my point of view. In fact, if they disagree, I'm happy to have a conversation. And guess what? I'm not going to throw them out of the room. I'm not going to block them. I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm not going to run to another room and say, oh my gosh, can you believe this person came up on stage and they said this and they ruined my podcast? Are you kidding? Grow up, people. It's not high school anymore. You know, it's to live looking good and avoiding looking bad. Guess what? There's more to life than that. Now, is it okay to look good? Is it okay to live and try to avoid looking bad? Great. Call it a game. But don't get bent out of shape and try to bring somebody down because you look bad. Own it. Guess what? I'm a human being. I made a mistake. So with that, Sujata, do you want to just share anything before we jump?
No, I'm interested to know what the others have to say.
After I stirred the pot.
That is the that is the agenda that we have. I think I started with a very serious note, and you stirred it, and so now let's boil it and see what happens.
Excellent. Thanks, Sujata. All right. Well, I'll do a little what they call pull to refresh on my screen. And it looks like my lovely friend Ginger is the first up. Now, by the way, if I come to you and ask you if you want to share something, nobody's going to say anything. If you say, I'm a pass for right now, I just want to listen. Because guess what? You have a choice. And it's okay. I'm not going to send you to the audience just because you're not saying anything. It's all right. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Ginger. Good afternoon, Ginger.
Oh, you're stirring the pot all right. You think I'm going to pass up on this one? Absolutely not. I'm sorry, but I'm over it. I'm absolutely over it. When you said we got to look in the own mirror, I'm headed down the road right now to the store, and I'm going to buy a case of Windex because I'm cleaning my mirror. I'm cleaning my life. I'm cleaning my perspective because I'm not going to participate in their little reindeer games any longer. And I know who I am in Christ. I know who I am as a person. And God knows who I am. And you know what? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. They can start their smear campaign. It can do nothing but reveal their true selves. So I'm over it. And right now I'm in heavy traffic, so I'm going to sit for a minute and listen to I like how he said the others in the room, and I'll pop back on for sure.
Thank you so much, Ginger. And now I can't wait for the newest musketeer to actually come off mute and share what there is to share. Hi, Sulina. Uh-oh. Sulina, are you there? If you're trying to unmute or if you're talking, Selena, you're still on mute according to the microphone.
Why do you call her newest musketeer? Did I miss something?
Come on, Selena. You better jump in, Selena.
So for those of you that don't know, in the 24-hour Bible study, there's some people that have been, when I first started, there were some people that supported me a lot, especially a lady named Michelle Boswell. And there were some other people as well that supported me by running rooms, by being there to support and take over. And so I created this title called Musketeers, and they were my musketeers, just like in the movies, the Musketeers, and in history. And so there are 4 of the old guard. There's Jeanette, Jeremy, Jeanette Angel on the stage here. There's Jeremy Franklin. There's Joey Rea. And those were my 3 from the old guard. And then Catherine Barnhart, whose husband is Coach Jay. And Catherine is the one that takes over for me often in the mornings of 24-hour Bible study. And she became a musketeer, and there's my 4 musketeers. And then one day Selena came along and she says, well, I'm nominating myself as a musketeer. And I said, it's not how it works. And so the other day we have something that we've created as an opportunity, because Selena is the mistress of organization. She's the queen of organization. She is the madame of organization. And with that, we asked her to take on an organizational topic. And I said, this is her mission as a musketeer. And that is how she became the newest musketeer. How did I do, Ginger?
Pretty good, because she doesn't have a comeback for that. But yeah, you nailed it. Come on, Captain Suzu. Maybe she needs to pop out of the room and come back on. I had trouble this morning on my team.
Yeah, I know. That's why I thought that might be the case. So, but I'm sure she'll, or unless she's just able to listen, she may be in a meeting, she may be on a Zoom, she may not be able to chat. So I'm sure she'll get a chance to before the room comes to completion. And so with that, I'm going to pop the mic over to Paitlin. Paitlin, are you there?
Yes, sir. I don't really have anything to say. I'm just going to listen for right now.
All right. Sister Jeanette. Jeanette, are you there?
I tried to get to my mic. It's still working.
It is.
Yes, and you have to find the phone, and you have to find the mic. It just, and you're pushing the wrong buttons, you're gonna kick yourself out of the room. That's what happens. So we're back on gossip. Are we still talking about gossip?
Oh, we're taking it to a whole nother level.
Oh my gosh, just wash your brain out. Turn off the TV. Turn off that reality TV. People should not act like that. They should not behave like that. Grow up. Do adult things. Have adult conversations. I don't know what else to contribute. Just go back to doing the things that mature, wise people do. They don't talk about other people. They don't need to talk about other people. They have to work on themselves. And if you're gossiping, you need to work on yourself. Coach Les is here. Get his contact information. That's all I got to say, Coach. I don't like drama. I really don't. I don't like the drama, and I push it aside because it's not even worth the time. And it isn't a good visual to watch people in that drama cycle. So that's my share. Thank you for letting me, and thank you for being passionate about it to keep bringing up the conversation. People need to look at themselves in the mirror. Look in the mirror and see if you're that person that likes drama. And if you are, the world is not in a good place, and you're not helping it. So thank you. Thank you for letting me share. Have a great day.
Oh, we'll be back to you. Don't worry, Jeanette.
May I say something real quick?
Of course you may, Paitlin.
I heard a sermon the other day from this guy, Isaiah Saldivar. He said, you may be saying, well, why are people always gossiping when they're around me? And he said, well, because you like gossip. He said, next time they start to do that, say, is my mind a trash can?
Yep, that's great. And it really, and really, that's what ends gossip, is somebody taking a stand for the person to say, look, I want to hear about you and your family. I don't want to talk about other people. I don't want to talk about other people at work. I want to talk about you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about you. That's it. So it's a great point. Great point, Paitlin. With that, I am going to Will Baptiste. So good to see you. How are you, sir?
I am great. I just wanna say Ginger's name, Ginger de la Concepcion. I just wanted to say that because I can spell that in French and I can do it, and I want to say it again. Ginger de la Concepcion. Hey, listen, guys. Hey, Coach Les, thank you for having me. It's been a minute.
It has.
Yeah, you and I have not been in this clubhouse. I did take a sabbatical from this clubhouse because I needed to for my mental health, and I needed to get away from this app that was taking a lot of time of my life. And now I'm coming back with a different strategy, with a different mindset. So now I'm good. Now to add to what's been said so far, first of all, I just want to say that here's what I always say to people. It's not what you say in my presence, it's what you say behind my back. It's what you allow other people to say about me. Because if you allow them to say that about me, or if you even come to me and you talk to me about somebody else, it's just a matter of time for you to go and talk to somebody else about me. So when you do that, I stop you right then and there. And as Kingdom just mentioned, that was a great point. Why do people feel comfortable talking about other people in your presence? Something is wrong. More importantly, what people say about someone says more about the person than it does about the people that they're talking about. Let me repeat that again. What you say about someone else tells me more about you than it does about the other person.
Amen.
And I'm gonna close on that. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people." So find yourself, anytime that you are in a conversation, ask yourself, what kind of discussion am I partaking? Is it ideas? Is it events? Or is it people? Because let's face it, we don't need people to tell us whether or not that the conversation that we engaging in is detrimental. It is not helpful. It is not progressive. It is not. It's not helping in sense of what you want to achieve in your life. So all those conversations, you're actually wasting your time. And what is the most valuable commodity that we have? It's time. In the time that you are giving right now in this clubhouse or anybody else, know that you'll never get this time back. So people, just make sure that whatever time that you're investing, let me just put it that way. You're not just spending it, you're investing that time. Wherever you decide to invest your time, make sure you invest it wisely. Because you wouldn't invest your money in crap. You wouldn't invest in your money in the things that you don't believe in. You wouldn't invest your money in things that you don't think you're going to get a return on. You would not invest your money in things that have no value. Then why are you investing the most valuable currency, the most valuable commodity that you possess, which is your time. Why are you doing this? And more importantly, why are you doing it to yourself? Now, that's something you need to think about. Hey, Coach, this has been a great thing. Like my uncle Les Brown would say, it's been a plum, pleasant pleasure and a privilege to be on stage with great minds like y'all. I love it. I love it. I love it, Coach Day. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, my brother.
You're very welcome. And out of curiosity, is that the book? Is this a book that you've just written? Will to Rise?
Will to Rise. Actually, this book is coming out by the end of September. We have a little bit of delay, and also because we have a strategy, so we want to wait till almost at the end, because that's when a lot of check this out. A lot of businesses are coming to a close to their yearly budget. A lot of organization and so on and so forth. So you see where I'm going.
Yeah.
So we decided that we're gonna delay the launch for the book, so that way we can make a massive impact. Yeah. So that's the book cover. There's gonna be an audio book. It's going to be also translated in French and in Spanish. And I'm also co-writing a book right now in communication. So I've been very busy, my friend. But more importantly, not just busy, but I've been very, very productive. Over to you, my brother.
Well, I appreciate that. And we do on the 24-hour Bible study on Thursday nights, we read books every week, and we just start from the beginning. We did Atomic Habits. We did Ori Spado's The Accidental Gangster. We did Focus on Healing. And one of the things that I'm committed to is when I bump into people that I know that have written books that would like to have me read them, and then we read a chapter, talk about it, read a chapter, talk about it. So it's a group discussion. And if that's something that interests you, I would love to read your book on a Thursday night once it's been produced, and support you here on Clubhouse. And we've been doing it. I don't know, Jeanette, how many books do you think we've read? Probably up to 20 now. I think it's somewhere close to 20 books, Will. So if you,
I would take you on that. Absolutely. And anyway, even if I didn't want to take you on that, who said no to Coach Les? Nobody. Nobody. So I wouldn't be the first one to say no. So yes, sir, and yes, sir.
What were you going to say, Jeanette?
I said, yeah, it's got to be more than 20. Because I'm doing 2 to 3 a week. You were doing how many are you doing a week now? 2?
Just one.
Oh, just one? Okay, well.
I mean, oh well, that's not true. I mean, I'm doing John Maxwell's Bible, but that's a different game.
That's the book. That's the book. The book. So that's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
So we're slowing down on books, okay? And when our friends at Clubhouse, they share with us their books, we're the room people come to hear the books. So yeah, we're getting up there. I mean, we have several members that even tell us they didn't read as much as they do now, and they're talking more. Can you believe that, Coach? Because we've been reading these books, they're actually talking more, where they used to just be in the listening lounge, and now they're up and speaking, and it's great to see them grow.
That's awesome. So there you go, Will. That's so let me know when we can get it started and people can buy it, and be super excited to do that for you. And I'm gonna not jot it down on my notes so that I have it in the lineup. And appreciate seeing you, and completely understand taking a break. I know that I came to a place where my wife said, it's either me or Clubhouse, and you better figure out how to make it work, because I know you're getting business from Clubhouse. And so, I put my little integrity hat on, put my tail between my legs, cleaned it up with my wife, and found balance. And now people look at my calendar and go, whoa, what's all that blue. And I said, that's my family time with my wife. So that's the way to handle that kind of stuff. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Brother Wade. Brother Wade, how do you want to speak on this lovely topic?
I am Wade. I used to gossip, but not no more. And Scripture tells us, and I'm paraphrasing this, do unto others as you want to have done unto you. I don't like to be gossiped about, so therefore I don't do it. I also realized when I don't gossip, people respect me more. When people try to share gossip with me, I just politely say I'm not interested and turn my back and walk away. We're done with the conversation. I don't want to hear about other people. I don't want to hear it. Because Kingdom shared, I'm listening to trash. And it's my fault, not their fault that they're sharing the gossip with me. It's my fault if I choose to partake in it. And I'm sending a message. Depending on the relationship, I might not be quite so blunt. Just depends. But without exception, I'm not listening to gossip. It's not professional. Myself as a coach, if I would listen to gossip, share gossip, people would not hire me as a coach. The damage it does, because let's face it, if you love the drama and the gossip, you ain't sharing the truth, because nobody loves a dry bone story. You're gonna make it juicy. Facts are facts. I enjoy my life better, and Will shared about we only have so much time, and I don't have time for gossip. Like you had stated, Coach, I'm placing those blue boundaries in for my family. I still struggle with it. I really do. The last few days, parts of the week, I was doing my favorite thing, which is being around fast cars. That's a challenge for me to know when to quit. But I hope everyone realizes the damage gossip does, not only to the person that's sharing the gossip, the person that's being gossiped about, but the damage it does to you. Because the next time you see that person, it will change your opinion of them, and you don't even know if that's true, and it's probably not. I'm going to land my plane with this. I ain't going to gossip, I ain't going to share it, and I ain't going to listen to it. This is Wade. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate everything that you're saying and sharing. So thank you so much, Wade. And, you know, as we go through this conversation today, you know, one of the things that I want to look at and have people look at and maybe even share to put it out and create it is where is some place where you can go to the next level in this? What does that look like? What is a way that you can step up the game around you in the conversations around you? How can you have an impact? Because really the opportunity, you know, we come into these rooms, we sit here, we listen to this content. We may even say, oh, this is great content. This is really cool. And then 24 hours from now, it's like it never happened. So the question in the next 15 to 30 minutes is, what difference can we make with this? What are some of the tips and tools that we can create around us that support? Coach Les is here. We better clean up our game. I've heard that. I've had people say that from the top of a stage on Clubhouse. Now, they say it in jest, and yet they know that there's reality to it, because they know that if that's a room where I expect a certain level of integrity and they step away from that, I'm going to call somebody out on it, because that's what you do to support the people that you know, love, and trust. Because we all make mistakes. We all trip, stumble, fall. And the question is, are you going to put a hand out? And what does that hand look like? So I'm going to take a moment to give the microphone over to Sujata and let her share, now that she's heard everybody up on stage. Let her share a few nuggets from the book again and from her own experience and her own thought process on this topic. Sujata?
Thank you. So it reminds me of the time when, like I shared in the beginning, that when I got the conviction and I wanted it to be shared, as you rightly said, the good things are never shared, but the bad things always find a way and place in the media. And every written word that comes out in the newspaper, it just stays. Any written word anywhere stays, whether it's on an email or in the newspaper. And I remember I wanted to put it out there that I'd got a conviction, and I had the journalist tell me cold bloodedly, "Oh, that is old news. Is there anything sensationalism to it? Then only we shall publish." That was one of the leading newspapers journalists who got back to me. Of course, there were others who carried the story ultimately, but every time there was a justification for the rape that was mentioned, and that never really went away. In the building where I stay, even now, every house owner has their own files with their details. And in my file, the then secretary put the newspaper clippings. So my file always will have a newspaper clips, printouts of what happened, and it will always be there for life. I would just like to also tell the audience, because some of them were not there when you read the book. When you read the book, that was the first time in so many years. You may recall that both my daughters were on stage when you read the book. And it was a big step for somebody to uh, have the courage to come and listen, because that is not something that people can do. And I hate it when people, after saying and knowing everything, will tell me, "Oh, just move on. You got the conviction." So just because I got one conviction or I got a conviction, does it mean that I should forget what people did? Like in a letter to the cops, I told this: I'm not afraid of the criminal on the road, but I'm definitely afraid of my neighbors next door, because they are the ones who can shred somebody's uh, character and can leave scars which you don't get over with all through your life, because they not only listen to gossip, but they, there's a breeding ground for it. You listen and you share, and it is there in that society where my one daughter still stays. It takes a lot of courage not to have run away from that situation and to still stay there, to know that people would look at you even now and say, because even now if I go into the courts, because I used to wear a uniform of the same dress day in and day out. So I am referred to as case number so and so, as the rape victim's mother. So some things just stick. How do you make it go away? You don't make it go away unless you change the way you think and do. And that is something only each individual can do. And what amazes me all the time is that all these people that I'm talking of, this face of so-called, people you all will never see and understand, they're all religious people. They go and pray 10 times. What's the use if this is what you do in real life? So I have a serious, contention on that matter, that if you talk of God, then you do what God would want you to do. And I don't think any God, any religion will ask you to do harm to others, because the words are very, very important. There's a book which I call my Bible in the library. It's called Toxic People. It says that, physical scars, if you get into an accident, can heal, but words that can harm you, and you may never heal. With that, I rest my case.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Sujata. It's very interesting. And, as we all know, this platform of Clubhouse provides a very interesting place for gossip. No different than any organization, Chamber of Commerce, BNI, NSA, National Speakers Association, Toastmasters, Knights of Columbus, all of these different organizations. And inside every single one of these organizations is one extremely common denominator: human being. And the interesting thing about human being is we are all flawed. We are all perfectly imperfect. And when we cast a stone, there is a residue of that stone that is left with us. And when people can learn to be responsible for the stone and the residue and the impact of both in their life, something different might open up. So with that, my invitation here. Ooh, Selena, are you there? Did I see your mic flash, or was that just me? Okay, might have been just me. Listening to how can we take on making a difference. I love what Wade said. I love what Will said. And I think one of the things, kind of like a safety word that people share amongst themselves for when they go to a party and it doesn't occur like they're safe with, somebody they've met. And my thought is, how can we create a safety net and support people along this journey? What does it look like? And can you be responsible for that? And that, to me, is the true test of this game called integrity and fighting gossip. So with that, here's one of my questions for each of you on stage. What could you see differently to say or do the next time you run into somebody that's gossiping? What might something be that you could say or do without getting into a fight or an altercation to cause a breakthrough in that group? What are your thoughts, Ginger?
Well, it makes me think of just a few weeks ago when I was verbally accosted on stage, and by someone who was at one time close to me, when they finding out that I am going forward with my book, and the fleshly part of me wanted to put them in their place. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. The fleshly part, but when I quickly reached out to God and said, "Just God be my mouthpiece," He did, and what came out of my mouth really shocked me, and it was literally, "Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for sharing your feelings. Feelings aren't facts. I do nothing but send love and peace your way." And that was it. It was that simple. And yet, I felt satisfied when I put my mic back on mute, because it shocked that person. That person was wanting that argument. They pointed me out, just like the woman in the Bible. There she is. There she is. Yeah, here I am. Here I am. Here I am. And when this is what you all are doing here, is you are creating that safety net, because it's alien, it's foreign for me to come out on stage and use my voice. I'm stating that I know who I am, and I know who I am in Christ. And people literally get scared of that. There's some people that cower away, and then there's some that will mock and make fun of. But I'm drawing the line in the sand right now. The empowerment by you all having your room, sharing your story, having each other's back, creating this safety net of family, the connections that you have, that's who I want to hang around with. And that's who I want to be seen with. And these are the stages that I want to be on, sharing my voice, where it's actually appreciated. And if someone doesn't like it, I'll do the same thing. Thank you for sharing. I send nothing but peace, love, and joy your way. This is Ginger.
Awesome, Ginger. Thank you so much. And with that, I gotta try again. Sulina, are you there?
I'm in the house.
Sulina, my musketeer.
Like you mean it. It's Musketeer Extraordinaire. How are you this evening? Hello, beautiful people. So I'm absolutely enjoying the conversation. And I must say, I'm not gonna go back to where you guys started, but what I will say is anytime someone, first of all, very rarely do people come to me with gossip. And the reason why is because the people who do truly know me don't even entertain the thought when it comes to Selena. Don't bring it, because I just don't entertain it. So most people know that. So it has to be somebody who's relatively new to my circle of influence who will try, because anyone that truly knows me, no, do not even think about it. And if it's someone who doesn't know me, my approach is always this. What are you going to say to me? I'm really going to ask you to examine yourself. What are you hoping for? What's the result? Are you hoping for resolution? Or are you hoping just for dissension, right? Because if you're hoping for resolution, you would want that person present. What you're about to say to me, if you cannot utter it in that person's presence, then I don't need to hear it. We don't need to have a conversation. Because if it's resolution that you're seeking, then you would want that person present.
if it's not, and it's dissension, then that's exactly why it is that you're coming to me. And I don't associate my name with dissension. So move over, bacon. Sizzling is coming. That's my attitude regarding. So people who know me do not. They just don't bring it to me because they know Selena do not entertain that. And I always say, and if it's a situation where I feel that the person has to be present, and then in God's word says it's always great to have a third party or an elder present. So that's the only way that I would entertain you having a conversation with me. If you can't utter it in that person's presence, then I don't need to hear it. So that's my take.
So I have a question, Selena. Hey, hold on a second. I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'd love to hear how you would answer if somebody came up to you and said, Selena, I'm having a problem with this person. I've heard other people say they've had the same problem. I'd love for you to give me some support or quote unquote some coaching around how to handle it.
Right.
How would you answer that?
How would I answer that?
Yeah.
I would still tell them that they need to address it with that person.
Would you give them some coaching on how to address it with that person?
Give them coaching around that. I would offer them coaching around that, but I will still tell them that you can gain nothing by really talking to me about it. So I would strongly suggest that you examine your heart. What is the results that you want from this? You take it to the Lord in prayer, and then you go to that person and talk with them. And regardless of the outcome, if you know the heart that you are coming with, then leave the outcome to God. And if it's a difficult conversation, I always, for myself, even if it's a difficult conversation, I always started off this week. I said, I hope that you can receive this message with the heart that I am coming to you with.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So to add to what Selena said, one of the things that I like to do is I'll actually say, look, I will go to the person and I'll say, look, I'm having some difficulty. I realize that something happened between us. And I'm here to tell you that I've been in groups where I've heard people speaking of a similar instance with other people, and I'm not willing to have the conversation in that group with them, and I'm coming to you directly because I believe there's a misunderstanding, and it may be 100% on my side, and I want you to hear what I have to say, and I'd love for you to share with me the experience of what I have to say, and to see if between the two of us we could come to a common ground together and a place that supports both of us winning this game. And that's how I approach those sensitive topics. Because I know that people who are outside the box, who push the envelope, who stand for people even when they don't stand for themselves, are the subject of a lot of people talking about them. Always. And I'm okay with that. Like, that's their choice. What I'm not okay with is finding out that people are being misinterpreted, that people are gossiping with an intention that is not pure. Then I step in. And for me, that can then become a learned habit, a learned way to respond to certain situations. And for me, that's where the growth happens. That's where the excitement is. That's where authenticity starts, where integrity starts. And I know here, I'd like us to continue the conversation a little bit more here on Clubhouse. But if you'll bear with me, I'm going to mute up. I'm going to let Sujata pop into Clubhouse and steer the conversation for like a minute. And I will be back as I close down the video part of this podcast. And perhaps we can have, I don't want to go past 5:30 because I want to, if we have more to talk about, I want to bring it to tomorrow. But I know that there's some people that just popped up on stage, came back to the room, and I'd love to hear from them because they may not be able to be here tomorrow, and just out of honor and respect for them. But I'm going to step away for a moment and shut down the StreamYard. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Michelle, who just popped up on stage a little bit ago. And Michelle, if you just want to go ahead and start sharing, and I will go ahead and take care of the StreamYard. Mic to you, Michelle. Uh-oh. Michelle?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm just listening. I just popped in. I just want to say hello.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay,
I appreciate you saying hello.
Thank you. I'm just listening. I could use some prayer. I haven't had heat. Oh, I don't need heat. Summer. But they turned off my gas for a while because they found a leak, and it's been over a week. So it's supposed to come any minute.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
We've increased our sales by about 33%, blowing all of our goals out of the water.
In my first 6 months, I actually grew my business with his help over 500%. Literally 500%.
Les Hill is the type of person that invests back in you and back into your company. So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les Hill.